Travis Head, and a high five from some of the Scottish players. It's all set. Nicely played, a hand on it from cover point. I think that's Michael Jones there, but doesn't get enough of it to cut off the boundary. That's how hard Fraser McGurk's hit it, and bowls him straight through. Hero one day, and it's literally zero the next for Travis Head. It's a little nip backer. Great plans from Curry. He leaps with delight and he brings the Scottish crowd to life.
Confident, just his ability to swing the ball, the angles that he can get as well.
This is carved away, going to be carved away for four. Intentionally hit into the air down towards the hospitality tent to our right, and that'll give Inglis a bit of confidence. Boundary from his...
For McMullen to do the same.
Good stroke, takes the aerial route again, going to get four. Hits it into funny areas, Fraser McGurk. It's not exact. Yeah, this has gone a long, long way up. Has he got enough of it? He doesn't think so. Long on, nestles underneath it. It's Soul again. And somehow he hangs on. Redemption in a matter of moments for the man back into the starting 11. He juggled it, it can't be easy.
See a real difference.
Yeah, that's an outstanding stroke, and it's going to go all the way. Immediate innovation from Inglis, who just scoops it over his shoulder, gets into position early. It was a back of a length delivery from Brad Whale. And they're going to look to exploit this sixth and final over the power play. What a shot this is, Mel.
Yeah, just helped it on its way, really. Quickly move the feet, whip the ball over his shoulder. Change him earning more than the players here playing for Scotland. And it's a vast disparity.
Really well struck. He gets it in front to square and will get good reward too. It's gone all the way. Wheel maybe not quite at the pace to test out that part of the pitch, and Lees could just been sent a couple of yards behind square. The 50s come up here in the sixth over.
Yeah, Australia trying to make hay with the last over of the power play and the fielding restrictions in place. And the problem is that's a shorter ball, but when it's not swinging for Wheel and doesn't have the express pace of a Chris Soul, the Australians just able to pick them up and dispatch them.
Nice off drive, and beats the dive of the man at mid-off. Might have got something on it, but didn't get enough. It's George Munsey there. All of a sudden, there's a few concerned-looking Scottish fans in the background.
Been highly anticipated. Just holding that shoulder there. We'll keep an eye on that.
He has had shoulder problems as Michael Jones in the past, and he's worked hard to be able to come back and recover from that as they look to run two again. Yeah, taking the arm on, very, very well completed second there from Inglis. But yeah, this is...
Advantage, can get a 5-run penalty under the law around wasting time. Leans back, cracks that one well into the crowd. Watch out if you're out there, because that is a smoking from Inglis.
Yeah, and that brings up Inglis's 50, and fine style. He has played all around the ground today. You managed to give himself some room outside the leg stump, knowing that Watt is looking to target the stumps, trusts his hands, and with these short grains boundaries, it was just a nice swing of the bat, and that keeping the stumps in play as a bowler is essential. So that's where a lot of his wickets LBW and bowled.
And he just goes with the spin just over the head and into the crowd. So Cameron Green getting in on the action now.
Yeah, 19 off 19 balls before that. That's enough.
10 overs gone, 100 on the board. And Josh Inglis in particular has been in fine form, it must be said. An expensive day. Curry was excellent early.
These holes and every blade of grass out here is so
expensive. a really good over. Just 4 runs from it. 15 bowled, 5 remain.
So McMullen up top, he would have liked to, ideally, but I think with the early conditions, being able to squeeze those overs out of him, most of these Australian teams now bat 1 to 11. So knowing that they have that faith, you can then go out and play your game. That is brilliant footwork there from Inglis. Inglis today has been the only batter who's really ever got. It's not a big deal. This is where we should be as Brad Curry comes in again.
He's picked up into the leg side. Has he got enough of this is the question. Oh, yes, he has. Munsey was perfectly placed underneath it in terms of the line of it, but it's gone soaring over his head. Inglis batting on a different pitch to everyone else today. He moves into the 90s.
Yeah, brilliant. Slightly too full there from Curry. He talked about him coming back into this spell, looking to hit the stumps, and then that got his rewards there. We'll see the back of green, but this time, although he's hit the stumps a little bit too full, too easy from that length for a man of the talent and the eye and being as in as he is in English to pick it up and flick it away for 6.
Tries to repeat the dose, and he's going to get to a second T20 I100 in the grandest of styles. It comes from just 43 deliveries. What an innings we've witnessed. The talk the other day may have been about Travis Head, but with a 7-6 today, it's all about Josh Inglis. It's come at a strike rate of over 230, 7 4s, 7 6s, and it's swung.
He's playing a completely different wicket to everyone else. We have seen no one else be able to time the ball all day. Inglis, however, from the jump has come out. He has been proactive, he's been dominant, he's picked up length really well, and he is laying down a marker to the Australia selectors saying, don't forget about me. We know Matthew Wade's in the wings ready to go, but with that massive hit, the sound off the willow, we go for 6, and he goes to 100 in style.
I think it's hit the road there, hasn't it? That leads you down into the Grange Club. It's sprung off that, and Stoinis was a bit late in realising that he gets to the 100. He hasn't been able to get much of the strike, but with back-to-back 6s, an outstanding innings. Remarkable that he's never made a T20 I50, but now he's made 200s. The first one came against India, the second one here in Edinburgh against Scotland, and it does have the visitors in the box seat for what would be a 2-0 series lead. Big final 16 deliveries incoming. Inglis, he's surely just going to keep going here. Looks for the block hole. Another slight misfield, but it will only cost the single. Remaining overs for the Scottish bowlers, we see Chris Soule have 2 left. Is that a misstep, not allowing him to bowl all his 4?
Well, it's his first go back from injury, getting back into it, filling his way out. I think with this bowling unit, though, you know that you've got a lot of depth options. We've got a lot of experience with Wheel, with Soule, with Curry, and with Mark Watt, all being able to do that. So Richie Berrington, very experienced cricketer, very experienced campaigner, trusting and putting his faith in his other bowlers.
I think you've answered that incredibly diplomatically, Ali. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 13. He can bowl over 90 miles an hour. He looks maybe not at 100% fitness, but he's fit enough to play. Feels to me to be a bit more of a misstep to not maybe bowl your most X-factor bowler his full allocation. He can bowl 3 if he bowls the 19th to the 20th, but he now cannot bowl his full allocation of 4. We probably won't see McMullen be used. You'd suspect it'll be Brad Wheel to bowl probably over 20 and Soule to bowl the 19th.
Yeah, and Brad Wheel's got a lot of experience bowling at the death for Hampshire and in the 100. It's something he's done in finals cricket a lot, so that'll be a plan they would have looked at from the jump.
Balls into the surface, and that is certainly what I think we'll see Australia do in the second innings. We saw them do it so well. Their taller fast bowlers bang it into the pitch and make timing much more difficult for the batters.
That is the one thing that the Scotland attack is lacking, is height. We talked about the different varieties they can bring into it, but they're big, tall bowlers, people like Adrian Neil they've had in the past. We don't have that height to be able to use the centre of the pitch in the same way. It's a lot skiddier quick bowlers that this attack shows for Scotland.
Looks for some innovation, can't get anything on it, and he thuds the pitch in frustration. Curry does well to get out of that over after the 2 6s that brought Inglis the century. 18 bowled, 176 for 3. 2 remaining here, Ali. How critical are they? Less than 24, 199 or less. Is it game on?
I think so. I think the Scotland batting unit would have learned so much about as we watch the highlights here of Inglis going to his 100 once again. Ball striking all around the grounds. Those two deliveries there where he got his length slightly wrong and he was able to capitalise on it.
What a moment it was for Josh Inglis.
Belief is the word I keep going back to. We talked about the previous games of Australia being a one-off. This is the expectation, belief now. We should be here.
And that is going to be great reward for Chris Soule. He's deserved every single bit of that. It's been an outstanding 3 overs for me. It should have been 4. And he points to the sky. Back. Anything under 200 won't be a bad effort. But Tim David is going to pongo this one all the way. Big hits into the leg side. He's a
we either need to see him go out the block hole or take pace off and go higher than that. Anything around waist heights on this pitch, and the pace wheels bowling, that is free pickings for someone like Tim David. We saw Brad Curry go either really short or really full. We saw the same from Chris Soule, and this
really have been kind of almost freebies. And David is going to go bang, bang, boom, boom. Oh, that's monstrous, maybe the biggest of the 2 matches.
Switch off and recompartmentalise, really important.
That's going to be 4 more. Just helped around the corner. Kenny Crichton, the team manager there. Not sure how he's got the shorts on. That kind of a day. Any boundary will do for Australia. Scotland. Final delivery of the first innings. Here we go. A big swing and a miss, and they won't even attempt to scamper the ball in a cheer from the Scottish crowd. It's, well, 16 from the final over, not ideal.
And Scotland going into this series across these 3 games knew that if they were going to win the game, 2 overs of 20 plus, those big overs, and it's being able to, as we look at that 6 again, absolutely sublime, but it's being able to recognise, stay with the run rate.
You mentioned before Michael Leask, he only bats one way, and that is with boundaries. First one for Leask. Down the track to Adam Zampa, and that is 6 more. This is some show, and don't the crowd love it? Catch. Outstanding work at full pace by Tim David. And just when he was looking incredibly dangerous, McMullen departs.
Yeah, he's gutted. He had just decided, they'd made the decision, it was time to go. At some point they'll need a couple of those. That will be what gets them over the line.
Slower ball. Now, has Leask picked this? He might have, but he's picked out the man. Fraser McGurk at deep mid-wicket, who takes a good catch. Just couldn't quite get the strike, could he? Leask, and another one falls, and well, there's shades of the first T20, getting to a good position after 11 or 12 overs and not being able to kick on. Leask has to go.
The pitch, put pressure on Green that way.
Bowls him. Well, he's unlucky, isn't he, Mark Watt? It's come off maybe an inside edge and the thigh pad. He can't believe it. But he was shuffling around the crease. Green followed him very cleverly, and he gets to reward his first wicket today.
Yeah, once again we see the Aussie bowlers, seamers, hitting that back of the length, cross seamer.
Well, crushed by Australians' brilliance. And that's going to be 2 and 2. Top of off is hit. The best place to hit as any bowler, quick or slow, and that was express pace. Soule had a big heave-ho at it, and he loses his off stump.
Yeah, he's this ball striker, Chris Soule. We know he's got the ability in him, but
add his name to the list. He's got 2 and 2. Can he pick up the hat-trick? Well, he's looked for the Yorker, and it's ended up as well. What a waist-high full toss, as Brad Wheel can't get anything on it.
Oh, he must have been thinking if they were talented cricketers.
Stoinis looks for a 3rd wicket, and he should get it. He's been so canny, he's been so effective, and Brad Wheel, well, he's hit it not an awfully long way altogether. Not a day for him to remember, to be honest. He was expensive with the ball, 4 overs, none for 51. And
Just released the pressure on the Australian batters, and that's when they really kicked off.
That's going to be that. Chris Greaves can only pick out the man at fine leg, and it's a remarkable collapse from Scotland that will give Australia the series. Stoinis does get 4. He's had a good day. So too is Joss Inglis, and in general, so too have Australia. This tour of Scotland good enough, and the silverware will be heading down under.
Yeah, it's all then